Cruise news time, and well, can you guess what we're going to talk about today? That's right, there is a hurricane targeting a cruise port about 45 minutes away from my house. Also, Princess made a big move yesterday on the heels of Canada's announcement saying that Canada is now open to all cruisers, aka unvaccinated cruisers. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and my views. It is September the 27th, 2022, and of course, the big topic of the day is the hurricane. But before we talk hurricane, let's talk about this big announcement coming from Princess Cruise Lines on the heels of the Canada announcement yesterday. In case you missed the show yesterday, Canada announced that as of October the 1st, they're dropping all of their entry protocols. That means you don't have to get tested to go into Canada. That means you don't have to be vaccinated to go into Canada. And this was one of those things that was causing some consternation for cruising, as many cruise lines would not allow unvaccinated passengers to cruise to Canadian ports for any reason. This knocked out Alaska for a lot of cruisers here in the 2022 season. Well, Princess Cruise Line first out of the gate with a press release on the heels of the Canada announcement saying everybody's welcome. That's right, no more vaccine requirement for cruisers on Princess to go to Alaska because it has a Canada stop, or to go to the east coast of Canada. Not a surprising move. I would suspect that most other cruise lines will make the same announcement. But really quickly out there, if you are a Princess cruiser who has not gotten the vaccine and that was keeping you from cruising to Alaska or to other parts of Canada, well, now the doors are swinging wide open. I am uncertain as to what the other protocols will be, whether you have to have a test, all of that stuff. But if you do plan one of those cruises, the season's basically over, so this could be a next year kind of thing. But if you are planning on one of those cruises before Canada shuts down, make sure you check with your cruise line to see exactly what your requirements are. Cruise news story number 2, we're going to talk about the hurricane. So before we get there, let me quickly invite you to subscribe and give you a programming note. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. Thank you in advance. And the programming note is we will be going live tonight talking more hurricane or cruising or whatever you want. That will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on this La Lido Loca YouTube channel. If you want a little more intimate setting with less than 100 people participating, you can become part of our Patreon group, www.patreon.com/La Lido Loca. For $5 a month, you can get access to an extra live show. Usually that's 2 or 3 live shows a month. Some months it's only one, but it's always at least one live show. So for $5, you can become a patron and you can be a part of the super duper exclusive, less than 100 people most times, live stream, which is a little more laid back than the big live stream, and definitely you can get in there and get to be part of the conversation. There you go, patreon.com/La Lido Loca. Thank you in advance for your support. All right, let's talk about what's going on with the hurricane. If you've been tracking Hurricane Ian over the last few days, you know that the cone of uncertainty has shifted from time to time, but many of the models have that hurricane bearing down on a popular cruise port here on the West Coast, the port of Tampa. Tampa Bay, a direct target. Now, the model this morning that just came out earlier, I just listened to the governor of Florida say that model has shifted a little bit south, and where Tampa Bay has been the target, he's starting to send out warnings to people in Sarasota, which is a little bit south. Now, it's unpredictable. We do not know. Tampa Bay still extending their evacuations. Yesterday, there was a mandatory evacuation for Zone A, which is right there on the shoreline, and now they've extended their mandatory evacuation for Zone B. So all in all, they've got about 390,000 citizens, residents in play to evacuate from Tampa Bay. And if you've been watching the news at all, there's been tons of evacuations everywhere. The incoming storm is certainly causing travel cancellations. The airport in St. Pete closing at 1 p.m. today. The airport in Tampa closing later on tonight, I believe at 9 p.m. So this is going to be the last day that you can fly in and out of St. Pete and Tampa. The incoming hurricane has impacted the cruise port here in Tampa. Carnival Paradise, I believe, is supposed to sail out on Friday. Carnival Cruise Line sending out messages to their passengers to make sure you check check with the cruise terminal, check with the cruise line before you come to Tampa. So it's not for certain whether or not the next sailing of the Paradise will continue as it's supposed to. So if you're cruising out of Tampa, make sure you check. I believe the Carnival is the only one with a cruise right now out of Tampa, but make sure you check there. And then there are other cruise ships that are being impacted, itineraries being shifted because of the hurricane. There's a great list compiled over at cruiseradio.net. Doug Parker, I'm going to give you some ships off of his list, but if you want to read all the itinerary changes, go over to cruiseradio.net. In addition to possible disruption of the Carnival Paradise sailing, Carnival Glory and Carnival Ecstasy, they have itinerary changes. In the Royal Caribbean Fleet, Liberty of the Seas, Allure of the Seas, and Mariner of the Seas with itinerary changes, and MSC, the MSC Seashore itinerary changes. I also found some information from Disney Cruise Line. They released a statement, said the Disney Wish, the Disney Fantasy, and the Dream will sell as scheduled. However, there could be disruption to the Disney Wish over in Canaveral. It may come in later, it may leave later. The big takeaway is if you are cruising out of Florida over the next few days, there's a great chance for disruption. Make sure you're checking with the cruise line. Make sure you're checking with the local areas that you're traveling into to understand what the viability is for travel, and don't put yourself in harm's way. That's the big takeaway. Just a quick update on us. We are in a town called Spring Hill, Florida. We're in Hernando County. We are north of Tampa, and right now there is mandatory evacuation by the coast. We do have a coastline. Mandatory evacuation on the coast. Where we live, there's no mandatory evacuation. Based on all the modeling and everything that's come out today, our plan is to stay here and to hunker down and to ride out the storm. I did go out into the streets a little bit today. There's a lot of people out. The Starbucks in our community, they've already closed down. The Dunkin' was still open. The Chick-fil-A, of course, there's no school today, and look at the line at Chick-fil-A. So I think people are out doing some last-minute stuff before they hunker down as they wait for the storm to approach. So we're going to stay here. We've got food, we've got water, we've got batteries, we've got the things that we need. So I think we're going to be okay, but we will continue to watch. Appreciate everybody's concern and everybody that's been reaching out. It means a lot. Thank you for all the offers for places to stay. But as of right now, it looks like we're going to be okay here, but we will continue to monitor it. And then I also have been getting asked the question, do I regret not going to Canada this week and dealing with Hurricane Fiona up there? No, I think we 100% made the right decision. They're getting altered ports up there on that cruise, and I tell you what, I would not have been able to enjoy being on a cruise ship wondering what was going on down here in Florida. So I'm glad to be down here with family and with our stuff and all that kind of stuff to manage this situation. So let me kick it over to you. Are you impacted by this storm? Have you evacuated? What's going on in your life? Please, if they're telling you to evacuate where you live, please do that and be safe, and we'll ride all this out together. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. You can do me a solid by hitting the like button, and if you don't hit the like button, well, your punishments, I'm just going to love on you from afar. I don't even feel right giving a punishment today. Do me a solid, hit the like button, and thanks for all of the love and support from the Loca fam as we all ride out the storm. Come join us live tonight, and we'll talk more of this. This is Tony for Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido.